Alright, coffee is made. I think we're actually ready. Right. I'm tired like fucking crazy. Like nobody's business. But it's a good night to play some old school games. So, for anyone that jumps in, welcome. Get started here in just a moment. Jump back into this actually. Yeah, for anyone that caught the first part, sorry about not having that sound up. I don't know what happened in the first one, but for some reason it didn't capture the PS1 sound, so you're just going to hear a part where I go, but first the sound, followed by nothing but silence. And this is why you test this shit before you actually start it up. Alright, let's go ahead and jump back into it. Last time we left off, we were in Central Park, attempting to save Daniel's son, Ben, in a bit of a rough spot because the concert, so for those of you that missed the first part, the concert that Melissa was supposed to be having in Central Park when she was, still an actress and wasn't taken over by a sentient being who was Mitochondria's just #1 fan across the board. She was supposed to be having a concert here. Obviously that got canceled because of what she had going on and, what she ended up going through, burning everybody at Carnegie Hall. However, what's odd is that they got a call noting that the concert was still going on. People were still gathering in this place. Obviously, Aya and Daniel know some shit's up. Daniel, of course, has a vested interest in this because his son Ben, along with his ex-wife, were supposed to attend this concert. They came in part 1. Ben had told Daniel that he had tickets available for them. Daniel said he couldn't make it, so he asked his mom instead. Got the call that they were at here. Mad dashed over here. He can't set foot in this park, otherwise he'll set on fire because of Eve's powers. So Aya, being the only person that is capable or seemingly, not affected by this, she decided to head on in alone. So here we are. So last we left off, we know that Eve was here because of the burnt bodies. We obviously have that under control. We see that Eve's influence is already kind of bled into the rest of the park because of the creatures that we're facing. And so we're just trying to make our way through to see what the hell is up. And we got a battle. Alright, there's also a secret that I seemingly missed the last time we were around. I completely forgot to check the trunk of the police car the last time we were in, but that's perfectly fine. I can always head back. Don't know if I should be using actual rifle ammo on these guys either. I'll probably check that now. Where are we at? Yeah, let's try. Okay, it's 36, 18 on that. The range is inherently lower. Yeah, we're in a bit of a tough bind because I don't think we have a lot of ammo we can necessarily get from these for this gun right now, but we have a shit ton of ammo for this one. Here, we'll try it out. If it doesn't go well, loses our ATB for that, which is fine. If it doesn't go well, we can always switch back. And yeah, it's not looking good. Let's switch that back. I also kind of looked around at it last time too, and I mentioned how, and I'll point this out after this battle. There we go. Yeah, our bonus points. So I actually don't want to put that into our capacity or our active time because I think those are going to reset when we head into the endgame dungeon. So what I'm actually going to end up doing is putting them into weapons because I think weapons carry over into that sort of pseudo New Game Plus mode. that's the best option. Either way, level 8. Max HP is 101. Everything else is looking good. Our active time is taking forever to level up. Good amount of junk, though. We can give that to Wayne, and I believe he'll give us an item after the fact. So we got another battle underway. The thing I forgot to mention, too, the last time we actually did this. I remember what this battle system reminds me of, and I can't believe it slipped my mind the last time. This battle system is similar to that of Chrono Trigger. And I know that sounds weird to say. It's just like, well, yeah, Chrono Trigger also had like an ATB system, but being able to see enemies on the actual like map, or at the very least having like fixed encounters at specific points on the map is a very Chrono Trigger idea. And I forgot the reason for that is because Takashi Takeda was also the director for both of these games. I forgot Sakaguchi picked him specifically because of his propensity for working on like very cinematic type games, the way that he directs them. You see that in the way that cutscenes are directed in Chrono Trigger and how cutscenes are directed in this game, where the CG scenes normally around this time in like think to games like Resident Evil or not Resident Evil or Final Fantasy VII, for example. FF7 would do CG cutscenes as almost a sort of pseudo reward, where you complete a big section of a game, you go through it, and you get the CG cutscene as this kind of like reward, or like this big blow off at the end of like, oh hey, you saw this, congratulations, here's a CG. In this game, they're kind of interspliced as in between scenes, so they're a lot like RE1's cutscenes and their CG scenes. Think about the first time in like the mansion, case in point. Go to the end of the hallway. Forgive me because I'm forgetting that game already, but you see like the zombie turn around and look at you, and then you're right back into the gameplay. They're used a lot more like that, and that's a lot more of a that creates a lot more of a cinematic feel. So what you get is this really cool like sense of tension where you're put into a scenario, you're seeing a very detailed scene of that, and it pulls you back out and puts you in the gameplay. And it's a much smarter way of using CG because it's like, yeah, it's not as over the top or, grandiose, but it creates this, or at the time, it created a very like cool sense of immersion, of the sense that you were in this scene, you're seeing something that's a lot more detailed, a lot more visceral, and you're immediately placed into the action. Like, okay, how do you get out of it? I think it's a cool way of doing it. I don't think Final Fantasy really caught back up onto that until like 8, but the fact that Takashi and the team already had like the foresight to do that in this really shows how their style of directing games and their style of developing and their style of design was a lot more driven by cinema, which makes sense. From what I heard, Takeda wanted to be an actor before he actually became a game developer. But yeah, that's my little Takashi Takeda rant. Honestly, great director. If you haven't played Chrono Trigger, if you haven't played these, check him out. If you haven't played any games that he's... any of the other games that he's made, like Live Alive, I'd recommend checking those out. And of course, Sage and Dio wouldn't let me mention Takashi Takeda without mentioning his greatest game yet, The Bouncer. I'm gonna clip that and show it to them later on, and they're gonna absolutely just... Well, Sage will be very, very happy. Dio, I can already hear the response of just like this deep sigh. Like I've committed like a grave sin. Alright, so this is the atrium. Do we even have? No, we need the key for that. I forgot, that's the gimmick to this place. Yeah, Live Alive. I want to play that really, really bad on stream one of these days. I think I might actually try to hit that up next, because here's the thing, I've never finished that game. It's a bad place to be. Yeah, these guys like to throw. Yeah, this is part of the problem, and I might have to use Parasite energy here. Or no. go ahead and use the medicine too, it's fine. Yeah, that's kind of the downside of using these guns, is that you also have to pick your time and place with these. You always want to be moving around during combat, but if you end up, like, you can end up really screwing yourself over if you try to shoot at the wrong time with, like, certain reload times. Like, I'm about to get hit. There we go. Yeah, I forgot about that as a mechanic. This combat system was made so smart and so intelligent, and it really kills me that they just dropped it for the second game, man. Like, you had an A+ system that I think anybody would have looked at and just gone like, oh yeah, no, this is definitely the future. I'm wrong. I don't think Parasite Eve 2 plays bad at all, but it's not this. I would argue that even Vagrant Story is like the closest cousin to this game in terms of its combat system. It doesn't even do what this game does, mostly because of the stop-start nature of Vagrant Story. You know, you hit a button, it pauses combat for a while, for a minute. And it's a very cool system because of the timing aspect of it, you know what I mean? Like, hitting, for anybody that hasn't played that game, you hit the button like I'm doing now, you target enemies, but you target their specific body parts. And then as the main character Ashley is going for a swing, you hit a corresponding button that allows you to chain into another attack, and you keep that up for as long as you can, or as long as the meter that dictates your like hit chance will allow you to. And it's a really cool kind of like balanced system. The problem is that, like, because it's made in full 3D with like the PlayStation 1's limitations in mind, it is a little bit slower than normal, so it's not exactly as fast-paced and action as oriented as this. Case in point, you don't run around with Ashley avoiding attacks. Enemies will just kind of hit you and you'll stop in place. You'll register the hit and you'll figure out what to do afterward. In that game, you end up, if an enemy is going for a swing at you, you hit your same corresponding buttons, except now you have your defensive abilities, and you can, you know, register back a couple of the hits to the enemy for a little bit of damage. You can replenish some of the damage that they do with health. There's a whole lot of weird effects that go into it. It's really nice. I love Vagrant Story to death. I just don't think it's this. And I don't really know of a system that really captures this outside of... I'm gonna have to really dig into my like backlog and figure that out. Oh, we got Detox. Removes effects of poison. And some more junk. Yeah, the only other game I can really think of that does shit like that is what? Maybe... I don't think there's anything I want to give up here. I think that was just a potion. Or, medicine, excuse me. Yeah, the only other game I can think of that really does some shit like that is probably... that one Tri-Ace game. I can't believe I'm forgetting the name of it now. Resonance of Fate. And even then, I don't think it's not nearly as like fluid as this game. You know, that game has a lot of it has gun mechanics for sure, and like the combat system's kind of made around that. But it definitely gives off more of a vibe of strategy game, I guess is the best way to put it. That's another weird one I'd have to give some time to. I have it, and I just haven't really spent a whole lot of time on it. Okay, we're getting some grind here, and we're getting some junk, but I need to figure out where to go. So we need to consult the strategy guide for this. And I don't know if this is actually set up right. Oh no, it is. There we go. Okay, yeah, we had the worms after this. Day 2. Right, we have the save point up here, the cure. We have the ammo over on this side, and we need to get to the front gate. Okay, so the big thing around this is that we actually need keys in order to actually get to any place around here. So I think we're in the right location, right? This is where we're at here. The zoo key is in there, so I actually just didn't check that. That's my mistake. This is why you get old school strategy guides for games like this too. And honestly, I'm convinced that they did this shit on purpose, if we're being real. Like, we talked about this last time with strategy guides. Sage was here and we mentioned it. Your inventory is full. Oh, that's right. Tell you what. Go ahead and chew a medicine for this because I believe this is important regardless. Yes, that's the Zuki, so we definitely need that. We talked about this last time with strategy guides, and I brought up how I really fake gamer cred, not blindly suffering the obtuse design. Listen, I did my time. I fully love this era of gaming and everything that came with it. But I'd be lying if I said that games definitely were not made with the intent in mind of confusing the player to the point where it's like, you know, this $20 book that we got will tell you all that you need to know, really. You know, all it takes is just a little bit of time, right? The Scholastic Book Fair type shit. And I definitely think that there's charm in like finding your way around and being like, oh, hey, yeah, we did it. You know what I mean? Like you managed to finish that game that no one else could. Congratulations. But I'm also not gonna act like it's ethical to necessarily like make a game confusing on purpose, just to then sell you a book on it later on. You know. Hell, there's a side quest in Final Fantasy 9, and I forgot the name of it, but like that quest took people what 18 years to figure out. And it wasn't even in the strategy guide. It was just like some... Well, that's... to be fair, it probably was, but that strategy guide sucked. That was the famous, or the infamous, like, play online strategy guide, where it's like, you'd read it, and you try to figure out, like, oh, hey, how do I get the Aquarius card in that game, right? Or how exactly does Tetramaster work? And they'd go, oh, yeah, Tetramaster, this wonderful card game that we've programmed in for the player... The very, very popular card game in Lindblom and in Alexandria, and it would give you some lore bits, right? And then finish it off with a wonderful statement of, to learn more about Tetramaster, you should visit Play Online. And every single line was like that. They really wanted to push that like online platform as like the future of their you know, strategy guide business and everything else like that. To the point where, and I don't know if anyone remembers this or not, I can splice this in at some point. When they revealed Final Fantasy X at like their Square Millennium event, there was this massive portion at the bottom where like they showed off the UI and everything else like that. There were 2 instances in that video where they showed people or like someone scrolling down and seeing and like clicking on an option to like view in-game information, like the map, for example, right? Full area map, wonderful. Scroll down and click and connect to Play Online. And they even animated it to look like it was actually connecting. I can't imagine how frustrating that would have been back in the day. Think about how obtuse old video games were for a minute, right? You go in, you're like, I don't know where to go. And let's say it's maybe 2001. You got dial-up, right? You're rocking with AOL, you're trying to connect. And then all of a sudden you go in and it's like, hey, I don't know where to go in this map, or I don't know where this item is. Okay, we'll connect to Play Online. And then 2 hours go by. Or God forbid, someone has to make a phone call and the game just shuts down. And you're like, well, I guess I don't have that information. And it's nowhere to be seen. You'd be screwed. And that's assuming that you even have internet, or that you have like halfway decent internet, right? Because we're not at the point of broadband. This is like 01. Or God forbid, you're like me and you didn't have internet for a good portion growing up, and you had to go to like the public library and other family members like homes to do that shit. I would have been devastated. I forgot where I was going in this rant, but my point is like, yeah, strategy guides were great, except for when they weren't. And man, more often than not, they absolutely were not. But I do miss the old school charm of them now that we don't have them. It's funny how that works. I want to say that there is an item over here, because they showed it in the strategy guide. I just don't know if I can actually get to it. Because I want to say this is where the grenade launcher is. Let me see. I might have to come back for that. I had a computer since 2000, but never had internet at home until 2008, and I needed to use strategy guides. Yeah, a lot of people just had to kind of raw dog games back then, which there's no shame in that. I honestly respect people that did that shit because, like, I'll be honest, man. I always thought maybe as a kid that I was just stupid, but I realize now it's like, no, game designers were just kind of weird. Sometimes they design shit obtusely because that's just how they thought it should work, and it turns out like no. No, it absolutely should not work like that. This might also be the wrong... No, this isn't the wrong room. I'm looking at the strategy guide now. The grenade launcher is there. Oh no. We'll come back. I argued on GameFAQ forums over the Better Harvest Moon Girl. Harvest Moon's another series I need to get into. A lot of people have been trying to like convince me to play more farming sims, and I honestly do. It's just, I don't know. I want a cozy game to play. I don't know how interesting it would be to look at on stream, but I think it'd be neat. Alright, so we got a couple things over here that we can get. I believe there is an entrance somewhere here to get into the side areas. Alright, this is the other problem too. These snakes can inflict poison. Now luckily we have detox and we have some medicine available, but this is a problem. I also don't remember what the tell was for when I is poisoned either. So not huge on the current state of Story of Seasons. What's going on with that? Oh. Look for the brown monkey, one of our many playful rainforest friends. Okay, this is where... Okay, yeah. Now I remember. This is where you start getting, like, actual insight on environmental details. Because I was misremembering this with the museum, where I thought that they did this. However, they do it here specifically because you have enemies that you can face. So they warn you about the snakes. Or I'm sorry, the worms, the monkeys, and then what else? Yeah, some are poisonous, some aren't. I think the big ones might be the biggest poisonous ones. Right, these are broken, so we gotta go around. I believe there is a chest here with the medicine too. We gotta revive and a cure P. I need to sort this too. Maybe it's being spoiled by Room Factory because the games are, you know, structured around the player going at their own pace. Or these like these kind of force you to be in certain, so the characters stay locked to this character development limbo. Ah, I see what you mean. Yeah. No, that would drive me up a wall. It's maybe kind of adjacent to what you were talking about, but we were having a conversation. I was talking with Antonio about this the other day. That's part of the reason why I never really got like super deep into Animal Crossing. I like Animal Crossing a lot. I think it's a really fun game. I just am not a huge fan of the concept of games being stuck at a one-to-one day-night cycle. I think that being able to go at a decent pace that isn't just locked to, or essentially being time gated, it feels a lot better to me overall. Like the whole point of that game is to marry a random NPC you like, but they say the same thing to you like every day. So this is not enough content. Yeah, like games do life sim shit like that. Game design wise are tough, don't get me wrong. But I've seen so many games like that that do or try to do life sim elements. And people don't realize, and a lot of other indie devs don't realize, it's like stuff like that is hard because of the amount of content that you have to have. You have to write enough to make people feel alive, or you at the very least have to make enough events to do it. And I think people get it in their heads that it's super like easy because you just come up with a rule set, character follows that rule set, it goes throughout day to day, blah 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 blah, right? But I found in just experimenting with it, it's like, no, this can quickly become a problem. Because think about it, it's like the more that you're ideally making that game with the idea that people would kind of get sucked into it very, very deep, because it's a cozy type of game that they can just sink their teeth into for hours and hours and hours. Which means you're eventually headed into a point where it's like, yeah, people are going to see the same lines over and over and over and over again. And eventually what that's going to cause is a lot of people to look at it and go, yeah, this doesn't feel nearly as alive as it should. And that sucks, you know? It especially sucks if you're enjoying the game and it just, it takes away a little bit from you. It's not a deal breaker in most cases, I'm not arguing that, but okay, so we got here. I think what we need to do is we might need to back out because I think we're at a dead end. I think. It takes a while before you... Oh, Rune Factory 4. Yeah, it takes a while before you hit a point where lines get recycled. Yeah, I've heard of Rune Factory is pretty good for that too. That's kind of why I want to jump into that too. Check it out. I don't know, there's a lot of games I need to play, and a lot more RPGs I need to play, but that's kind of why we're here, right? Alright, let's check this out. I know this is a little bit small on screen, but bear with me. Alright, so we're in here. Now, we got the Medicine 2, we got the Cure P, and we got the Defense +1 or Defense +2. I might actually go ahead and swap that onto the vest that we have now. In fact, while I say that, go ahead and take care of that before we even look at the strategy guide. It also saves us some room in our inventory, all things considered too. And that's always good. So any weapon modifiers that we get, or any armor modifiers, probably best to just go ahead and use it now, right? It saves on inventory space. The junk is really what's taking up a huge amount of our inventory. However, the junk is going to be important because I believe if we give enough of those to Wayne in the police station on a certain day, or maybe it's just whenever, if we give him like 200 or 300, he'll give us whatever weapon we want, or one of his choosing, which is super helpful because it's a free weapon that we basically just get automatically. So if I miss anything in the field, like the rocket launcher that may or may not be in that room with the save room, it's just super useful for us to actually like gain. Could also be weapons that we might not get access to at all, and that's God, this game is so good. First and foremost, though, we need to sort this shit because this is looking rough. Let's go with items, weapons, then armor, and let's go with medicines at the top. That looks a lot nicer. So we got 2 medicines, both at 45, 90 HP. For what we have right now, most of our parasite energy is most likely going to be put towards our detox in case we run into those worms. We have enough items that cure and prevent poison for right now, and we also have a revive, which is awesome. But yeah, it's going to be our go-to for right now. And tools we're not using yet at all because I don't want to get into a mode where we end up like just completely tearing down any weapons that we might have. It's good to hold on to these while we have them. We also have slow. I forgot about that. We're gonna hold on to that for boss fights too. And you know what? We don't have enough points for that. I think we need 100. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, let's go back to the strategy guide now. Okay, so no, we can actually go to the side from here. So we need to head back out of here, go over, pick up this shit, and then head back out to the side. Or if we go down here, down the steps, we head to the next area. Okay, no problem at all. I just don't get it, man. How do they make games like this and Dino Crisis and just say to themselves like, no, I don't think we're gonna remake these. I don't think people really want remakes of these games. I don't even think people really like these games. It's insanity. Granted, again, this is a licensed game, so I kind of understand it, at the very least from Square's end. Alright, I can take the hit from that. I need to get rid of this thing because that does about 20 damage if it hits me. I think to maximize damage as well, we need to hit multiple of these. Or hit these guys multiple times, or split our targets rather, is what I'm trying to say. There we go. Alright, 100 bonus points. A good amount of level up across the board. We're level 10. Oh, and some ammo. Good, 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 good. Another thing I learned too, our ammo does not actually split amongst guns. For whatever reason, I thought that they had separate ammo counts. I don't think that that holds true. I might have been dreaming that. 15 ammo, that's nice. Alright, here's the question. Do I want to head all the way back here? Is there anything back here? There is something at the very least. What is this? Damn. Okay, these guys have... Yeah, these guys have poison. And, okay, that's how we know. Little poison icon down at the bottom. We need to actually, right, we need to heal up bad. I'm going to use one that'll also prevent poison, so we need to stay away from these guys, which is part of our problem. We need to actually do like that. That'll do damage. Hopefully this one kills this one. That guy's going to move. That'll give us time to heal. You know what? No. We'll play it smart. I knew that was gonna happen, but that's fine. We can hold on to that. Here's the question: do status effects go away after battle? And I want to say that they do. Leads back out. Right, that'll lead back out that way. That'll lead back over down there. Let's see. Let's try this side. I don't think that door we can actually go into. Looks like another battle zone. Or no, that just leads back out there. Okay. Right, okay, this leads back out to where we were, to that main side. So if I need to... You know what? No. I'm gonna go... after this, yeah, let me go check that side out. We have more ammo, so I'm not like too broken up about necessarily running low on ammo. I'm gonna hug the door here though, so that I don't trigger a battle. I want to try to see if there's an actual item in there. Plus, I want to save. Okay. If I hug this and just try to match it, does it give me anything? No. Oh, wait a minute. There we go. The grenade launcher. Yes! I knew it was in here. Alright, let's check that out. Alright, it's less range. It only holds 5 bullets at a time. Or, I'm sorry, no. What's the effects on it? Oh. It adds a heat effect to bullets. You know what? Let's try it out. We'll try it out. If it doesn't really get us much of anything, then we can swap it out, no issue. Hopefully we don't run into a situation though where it is completely useless in this area. I can't imagine heat effects are going to be, because realistically, why would they give us that at this point if they weren't useful? But you never know with these old games. Sometimes they just did shit like that was for funny. Because they could. That's usually the answer. We're just gonna keep diving in. Alright. Let's try to be smart now. Ooh. Okay, so that's not too bad. I have no idea how you're supposed to avoid that. We're also playing a dangerous game here because while we are farther away, if we get poisoned here, the only thing I have to rely on is my detox. Like I said, Parasite energy is a little bit vital. Oh my god, that lingers for so long. Here we go. Yep. Alright, good ammo. Don't think we leveled up off of that. Yeah, Parasite energy will replenish, but it'll stop at a certain point, so we kind of have to play it safe with how and when we use this shit. This is one of the things that I've heard is a major complaint about this game too, which I don't personally feel this way about, but I do know that other people do, which is Aya's movement speed is painfully slow for the maps that you're expected to wander into, but I don't see that as necessarily I don't see that as a problem necessarily. I mean, it is a little bit slow, but it gives you kind of time to wander around and pace. Let's just consult the guide once again. See if maybe I'm just reading this wrong. So here leads to here. Leads to the defense, and I think this is pointing over to back center. So maybe I need to head back. Head north is maybe what I'm getting at. Let's try that out. Actually, yeah, because I didn't head through here at all. I went headed in here from behind like the post to the west. So heading north should bring us to the next area. Yes, it does. And I think for right now, should we stick with the rocket launcher? Let's see. Or the grenade launcher, excuse me. I mean, the heat effect is nice, and it does pretty good damage to specific enemies, but I don't necessarily know if we need it right now. Just pair on my sight until I Eve. No, I think we're going to stay with the rifle. I should break down the weapon just so we kind of get 3 shots off instead of 2. I think that would help a lot of our problems right now, but part of the trade-off with that is I feel like we're going to be running into a situation where if we don't know where to go, we're just chewing through ammo, getting into battles. I'd rather not waste it. It's the same amount of shots regardless as it does take to kill the enemy, but I don't want to run the risk of wasting time or wasting ammo that we would specifically need. Now the question is right or left? I'm going to go right. Right out of this battle. Alright, birds aren't too big of an issue. We definitely need to heal up after this, but... Oh, you know what? Hold on. We kill these guys first. He's gonna lunge. Here we go. Yeah, let's kill these guys first. After we kill those guys, I'm going to switch to the grenade launcher. I want to see if the heat damage actually does more to these guys, because these guys are kind of tanky. And maybe the heat effect wears them down a little bit. Don't hit me. And we're poisoned. That's fine. Okay, it does a little bit more, but not much. Do we even have another poison or another cure to use? We do. Just one. That's fine. We'll use that. It's not really doing much at all. We also sadly don't have... Let's switch this back. We also sadly do not have any magic that we can use right now. Like, I don't have access to burn. I don't even remember what level you actually get that at. There we go. Alright, heal 2. That's big. Actually, we can use that. And more ammo, which is great because I just chewed through a bunch of that for no reason. Alright, onward to the right. Don't think there's anything behind that statue. Two of these boys. Alright, before we even do anything, just keep ourselves in the fight just a little bit longer, navigate around. You also always want to constantly be moving. There you are. Okay, I wonder if shooting them at the sides is more efficient then. I doubt it's a range thing. Here. Might be. A dose of ammo. Another medicine that's big. And what's this over here? And another thing of ammo. So what are we up to right now? 91. That's nice. And now that we know that bullets just, or weapons share your bullet allocation altogether and the amount of bullets that you have. That's actually pretty big. I think this leads out to, yeah, I'm looking at the guy. This leads way back out to where we were. Where those two, like, poison guys were with the tentacles. So let's backtrack and go now to the left. I think that should lead us to our next area. We are trying to make our way to the amphitheater, is the big problem. It is one of the big things I like about Takeda's games with the encounter system that they have, is that you run into a system where you don't technically have random encounters because you know exactly where they're going to turn up, but they are annoying because they are inescapable. Like in Chrono Trigger, I'm pretty sure there's no way to actually avoid a battle. You are pretty much designed to go there. There are other ways to kind of get around if you know where to go. There's alternate routes. I don't think those exist in Parasite Eve. That's a fair trade. I think the only thing you really can do is like hug certain corners and walls so that you don't wander into like trigger zones, but other than that, you're pretty much at the whim of wherever these zones are and how the maps are laid out. All the animals have escaped. They sure have. We got more bodies up there. They're blocking the way from over here, so we had to go straight forward. Nothing on it. Let's see. We head up. I think we should link ourselves to the amphitheater. Give me 1 second. Well, let's see what's over to the left. I think that leads to the backstage area. Forward leads us straight into the amphitheater. And right leads us into the amphitheater, just a different level. I don't think we can actually get backstage unless I'm just... Yeah, no, so we might have to actually just go forward. And I think this is what's going to lead into one of the weirdest and honestly the coolest cutscene they've ever done. Well, speaking of, hey look, there's Eve. Speaking of, the holiday season brings joy to us all. And this Christmas will be the most special of all. Special because I will no longer be under the control of a host, as I have since the dawn of time. Humans are weak mitochondria. Humans are weak mitochondria can self-evolve. Mitochondria must now take over the nucleus. Ruh-roh. God, that's gross. Oh, it's so gross, but it's so cool. I have to get backstage to stop her. That's what unlocks it. Okay. Yeah, it's so grody. But that's genuinely one of the coolest cutscenes. Eve just turning everyone into goop. I need to know, like, how... Oh. It's that girl from earlier, too. I need to know how they actually animated that and did that with old CG tech. I can't imagine it was easy, but... Oh, wait, are we even prepared for this? Hold on. We got some medicine, and we do have a revive in case we die, so I'm not too worried about it. Why? Why are you doing this? You again. But you are too late. You will not ruin my plans as you did last night. Stop! Now what? Don't think she's at the stage. No, she's not over here. I don't think we can get anything over here. So we are gonna try to head back. I wonder if that other path is open now. Those bodies were. More than likely, right? Looks like it, because that girl's wondering. I think we got some items up here we can actually get. Let's try to see if we can get our way around. Yeah, we got some extra ammo. And I want to say anything around here? No. No, I swear there's an extra item around here. Inventory is full. Would you like to exchange items? Yes. Here, I'll drive off. Oh, revive. Yeah, no, that was, that was a great trade. Here, let's head to the back. Oh. We got a battle. This is, oh god. I think this was a bear. With electrical powers, that's interesting. Let's see what we're doing against this guy. 22, 33. Okay, so we're doing decent damage with this. Alright, that's a pattern. That's a cone pattern in front. There we go. Alright, 25 ammo. Alright, tell you what, let's heal up. More importantly. Yeah, I can toss a heal for this, that's fine. And let's save. Alright. So, we're approaching an hour. I'm going to go ahead and get a refill of coffee, some water. So, I'm going to take this time to stretch a little bit, get some water, get some more to, to eat, anything like that. And I'll be right back after the break.
Cellular DNA. Aliens within ourselves. Waiting to strike. Parasite.
The worst foe lies within. Parasite Eve.
Save us! God save us! God save us! Lord, why? Tell me why!
Awake now.
God, humanity is over! Humanity...
そして DNA が繰り出す I am Eve.
God save us! God!
ビニでデジキューブ
Hello, New York. New York. そして何かが目を覚ます。I am Eve. The cinematic RPG. Parasite Eve.
Millions of years ago, the mitochondria began to live silently within our bodies. It seems that the parasites have only to live among us. Or do they?
Cellular DNA. Aliens within ourselves, waiting to strike. Parasite.
The worst foe lies within. Parasite Eve.
Save us! God save us! God save us! Lord, why? Tell me why!
Awake
God, you know the it's over! You know the
そして DNA が狂い出す。I am Eve.
God save us, God!
The cinematic RPG. Parasite Eve.
コンビニでデジキューブ
Hello, New York. New York. そして何かが目を覚ます。I am Eve. The cinematic RPG. Parasite Eve.
we're back. Alright, so we've got to track down Eve after she turned everybody into delicious, delicious Tang. You know, another point that I wanted to touch on, actually. Let's see, there's an... Oh, that is a box. And it's more ammo. Cool. I want to say that something that I meant to touch on last time, that I might have mentioned. The orange drink, yes. I mean, you saw that shit. The goop. Honestly, it didn't have, like... It was orange, but it didn't really have, like, the Tang sort of look like a LCL from Evangelion does. It had more of a... you know the filling that, like, Gushers has? Like, something like that. It's like that viscosity. Oh, there's the girl. Something I wanted to touch on was, I brought up a question last time of why did Square get the rights for Parasite Eve, right? Because, there's a video that was done by I Played a Video Game where he brought up, like, a really good question of Square, and specifically, like, Squaresoft at the time, were well known for writing original stories to the point where they didn't even consider or even do video game sequels at the time. So for them to not only do a licensed game that's based on a property that they don't own, on top of this being a sequel to the book, you kind of have to question, like, why this game? And why did Kadokawa, of all companies, like the publisher of the original book, choose them to do it? And I think playing this game, and especially seeing that sequence, the answer kind of clicked for me a little bit. And I can't remember, he brought up a different answer in his video, but I for the life of me, I can't remember. I think, genuinely, they might have been, like, chomping at the bit to really just show off what they could do with the cinematics, or the, rather, like, cinematic style of game that they had kind of proposed. Like, keep in mind, the original tagline for this game, right? Cinematic RPG. You can tell that they really kind of captured, or really kind of had that light bulb moment of, you know, we can make movies, or at least cinematic style of stories through, like, games. Because I mentioned earlier Takashi Tokita, right? He was the guy that wanted to be an actor before he became a game designer. Yoshinori Kitase, who was working on Final Fantasy at the time, was very, very much into cinema, and was not shy on the fact that he wanted to be a director before he started working on video games. A lot of the guys at Square really had a cinematic kind of flair to them. Even recently acquired and recently, like, signed director... Oh my god, why am I blanking on his name? Yasumi Matsuno. Yes, that's the one. For Tactics, you know what I mean? It's like, even his style is very, very theatrical, very, very cinematic. In terms of its direction, Xenogears after this utilized its 3D environments and its characters in a way that was very reminiscent of a lot of 70s movies that Tetsuya Takahashi was into at the time. It just kind of goes to show that I think the company was really on board with what they had perceived as their opportunity to really showcase their flair. And when you kind of hand that opportunity over to a whole bunch of, like, 20 and 30 somethings, they tend to get really creative with it. That, and I just think they really enjoyed the book enough to know, like, okay, yeah, this is what we can do with it. I feel like you got to, right? I can't imagine that anybody would be chomping at the bit going like, oh yeah, we'll work on this game, and not being a fan of, like, the original source material. I hope I'm going the right way. Oh, there's only one way to find out. This was the beginning of the era where, like, games were getting into the question of, oh, can they surpass movies, or can they get up there? Because up to this point, like, the perception of it, especially to people that didn't really play RPGs or weren't familiar with it, was that these were just, like, you know, the Mario beat boop types of games. Are, if anyone's familiar with that one post or that one TikTok. And yeah, to be fair, there's truth in that. They kind of were. I think the SNES era definitely disproved that. But to a lot of people, it's like, no, this was the first era where games that kind of made that jump. Becoming real. It's big, which is really funny when you look at this game and how it's designed. I think this is a vest. And I don't even know if it's better than the one we have on right now. What do we even have on right now? We have a KV vest, and I think this is going to be weaker than what we got. That's assuming that it's even a vest at all. I think that we should pick this up. Hold on. Now, we drop instead of it. Let's just go ahead and say junk. An SV vest. Alright, let's take a look. Okay, so it's better as far as Parasite energy. It's better at critical hits, but it lowers our defense. Well, I think also giving us... Is that more inventory room? Hold on, let me put that on. Increases item capacity by 1. Yeah. We can honestly offset this too by our bonus points. Yeah, we could put more into it to kind of offset that. You know what? I might do that. It might not be the most optimal thing to do, but we're making enough good progress right now to the point where it's really not going to kill us. And I was right, this is absolutely a battle zone. We need to kill this bear first. Good damage. Good. Forgot to split my targets again. But yeah, you can even tell from the way that this backdrop is designed, like, they really wanted to go for a cinematic touch in all of this. And I think they really just were excited. Especially after working on FF7, realizing, like, oh, shit. Now, we don't talk about how their actual movies went, because, I mean, Spirits Within is a movie of all time, to put it nicely. But I think that as far as games go, like, they definitely kind of hit their stride. Ah, damn. That was stupid of me. This guy wants to go straight for me, of course he does. Another level up, good amount of bonus points. You know, they're really incentivizing you to just pump a whole lot of that into weapons and other shit to make life easier. Yeah, it's fine. I hope my Parasite energy will actually replenish on that. I didn't just screw myself by using it up. What's this? Another defense +1, which we can use. Yeah, I'll use on that. Try over here. Yeah, that doesn't do anything. I think there's an encounter somewhere in this area. Maybe not. What's this? Another tool. Not bad. Yeah, I just get so worried about actually using these things because I don't want to kill any of the weapons that we have for backup. But then again, I might for that +3. That +3 might be worth it. When we have another weapons permit, it's not like we can't get another one from Torres. And it does such good damage that we're kind of outpacing it. You know what? Here. We'll do it. If I pay for it later on, then I guess I'll just eat shit. Does this even have... It does. No, we have two. We have two. Yeah, hold on. Okay, we can't yet. Or do I need to do that back at the station? Might have to do it back at the station. Or no. It's here. What am I thinking? Alright. We have the rocket launcher. That's fine. We have this. Not the rocket. I keep calling it the rocket launcher. The grenade launcher. It'll give us plus attack, but it'll kill our range a little bit. Which, honestly, I can deal with. No. There we go. Alright, that's more like it. So yeah, our range is fine. We get more of a rate of fire. We do lose one of our tools. I can live with that, in all honesty. I think it's a pretty solid deal. We get more shots off, so we kill enemies faster. And we have more than enough ammo, so I'm not really worried about losing that right now. You guys want to say no encounters? Getting a good group. Now we have that. 1, 2, 3. This is a bad spot to be in, though. Right. Shot. Alright, some medicine and some junk that we can't take with us, but I probably should have sorted that out, but that's fine. What are we at? 50? Sort this again. Alright. My favorite enemy setup. Oh, get out of the way. Lunge for me. There we go. Alright, 2 shots should do you in. Hopefully, please. Christ. Let's just take out the bear. It's blocking the view. Am I crazy, or did our damage go down? We were doing like... It might have been because I was behind the guy too. This is really bad. This is a really bad setup. Don't have any cures left, so we're gonna have to detox and hope that that was enough. I can also use a medicine too. I might do that on the next turn. But we got 2 shots in on these guys. I need to have them lunge. One. No. Wasn't enough. This will be though. Unless it's out of range. Nope. We got good ammo from that. like the worst place to get an encounter on any sort of like narrow area, and especially where it's just like, oh, what's the enemies? The 2 snakes that can poison you and the giant bear with insane range because of its magic ability. But we made it out. I can't complain too much. These yahoos. Alright, let's wait. Yep, swiping me. Try to get as many shots in there. 3 shots takes him out, but that was 2 crits. He's probably gonna try to throw. Yep. Reload. And another shot. Nice. You know, we're killing it on ammo right now. It's actually really great. What are we even at? 172, and we're doing that kind of damage, which is pretty good across the board. The only problem is that we can't really upgrade this any further because we don't have any other abilities. I don't want to kill the grenade launcher to get its fire boost. Because here's the thing. Where is it? Even if we go ahead and use this, right? There's no guarantee that we're going to come up against an enemy that isn't like resistant to it. And I can't take it off in the middle of battle, so we're just screwed if I fuck around and try to do this. So I'm gonna hold on to that. I might give it to Wayne and just see if that actually like helps it out if he just holds on to it, because I don't really think it's going to be useful to us right now, but who knows. That said, I'm pretty sure there's some. Oh yeah, I see them. Parasite energy, defense +1, and a defense +1. Go ahead and slap that on Droid Best for extra. Slap that too. We'll get more armor throughout the days as we go along too, so I'm not really too broken up about actually using these right now. And like I said, for post-game, I'm pretty sure any sort of benefit that you have to your items, like let's say we just apply bonus points to these, I'm pretty sure they stick around for the post-game, so I'm not really too worried about it. That said, I need to head upstairs because I didn't actually check that. Right, and that leads back across. So I wonder if that road actually leads back to the bridge we were on. Probably not. Oh my god. Throw it away. The one time I didn't want to see these guys. Not the one time, the multiple times I didn't want to see these guys. You just acted, so I can probably kill you off. Thank God for that +3 that we added on to there. Actually, that was a good fucking call. One shot should kill you, and then I can... You all saw that, right? This little puff of, like, poison gas that was just... I saw it out of the corner of my eye. I was like, please, no. And luckily we killed it, so we just canceled the attack. Thank fucking Christ. Barrier. Uses PE to absorb damage. So that's a protector shell for us. Thank God for that. That leads back up. So where does that go? I'm blind. I shot the dude like right here. I was right up on him, and I just saw poison gas like come out right before he died, but it canceled it out because he died. Thank God. If I got hit with that, then I mean I would have been fine overall, but I can't afford to lose more health than I already have because I need to hold on to the parasite energy I have. This shit also doesn't replenish outside of battle, which is a huge issue. Oh, that leads back out. Okay, so we could have just taken either way. But there were items down there. Oh, another phone. Another not so great setup. No. 2 shots to you and a shot to you. That's fine. I need this thing dead. Hopefully that one didn't go off. That one, then you should be gone. There we go. Alright, let's save. Now, I don't remember what boss this is coming up, but I want to say this is a tricky one. Medicine should be fine. We're all good. Our heal is up. At least if I'm think this is the one I'm thinking of. Oh god, it sure is. This fucking whack-a-mole as boss fight. Ah, they like to throw those too. So those will hit the ground and they'll just like explode at us. We should probably heal up, right? Yeah, let's heal up. Parasite energy will not replenish. Right, it throws those. We need to kind of bullet time our way around. That does good damage. Make sure we don't get hit by these things either. Don't disappear! Ah, Christ. Having to time these right around the good time. Let's hope we get shots off there. Alright, that's one. Bad place to be. Yeah. It's good crits. I'll take that trade. And I'll use a medicine just to kind of top us off. Yeah, these also get bigger and faster the more of them that you take down. I need to get a couple of good shots in. It's a lucky break. That'll probably... No, they didn't hit. Wow. Okay. Alright, what am I thinking? Barrier, maybe? No. I think I should just play it smart. Just shoot him. Yep, there he is. Yeah, he likes to do that too. I think I should be able to tank those. It'll be fine. The annoying part about him. Yeah, he'll do that. Yeah, I need... No, I need to heal up. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to take some of these hits. Yeah, the big strategy is you just want to take him down as much as possible. Let me see if I can actually hit him. At least get a shot off. Barrier will probably help here too, but I think we should be in the clear. Hold on. Let's see. Yep. Got it. Good shit. And I think, yeah, that's a level up. 200, no, 442, so Yeah, and a lot of deep. Holy shit. Hold on. Oh, I can't take all of them because I already hit it. Okay, hold on. First off, yeah, we're definitely gonna use that. And I used it on the wrong one, I think. That's fine. Bonus. Yeah, where are you? On the SV? No, you know what? Just go ahead and raise the attack. Attack rate plus 3 shots that we're getting off every time. I'll take that every day of the week. Also go ahead and heal. I don't think there's a save point back, so we'll go ahead and save just to make sure. It's a fun boss fight because of the fact that like it changes as you kind of go along, but it is very much like a heal check. If you walk into that without any medicines or anything else like that, I have no idea how you would get around it. Maybe the range, or assuming that you put points into your active time meter to get off shots quicker. Overall, not a bad kind of like way around though. This bodes well. Your genes are stronger than I thought. Come, my dear, let's go for a ride. Okay. What are we going to talk about? This is insane. Look at that. Why? Why be on the human side? Why not? I'm a human. Why are you going with them and not me? What? Here we go. Alright. This is a tricky one because we don't have a lot of space to work with. Good damage. She hits like a tank. Good God. This is another one of those like heal check sort of bosses. Here's what I'm gonna do. Let's heal up. Let's hope that we have enough in order to fire off a barrier, by the way, because I feel like we're gonna need that. Here we go. That'll at least keep damage up so that we can get off some fire. Oh, look at that. 0. Okay, yeah. So it doesn't last long, but it lasts just long enough for us to avoid some of that. I think this is our last medicine too. Get out of there. Should probably lunge. Yep. Alright, I don't have much to work with here, so we're kind of up shit's creek. If she lunges at me again, I might die. Or she puts a bomb in the wrong spot. Don't think I have any more medicines. No. So I kind of had to work with what I got. Hopefully this will be enough to do some damage. Oh, no, I think we did it. Oh no, that just changed the phase. Oh, no, no, no. It seems you still don't know who I am. Well, if you don't know, your mitochondria will. That's why you were drawn to the opera. What are you talking about? Here, let me explain directly. Stop it. If we join forces, all the other mitochondria in the world will... Stop! Good God. That is an important point, by the way, which you just mentioned. So remember when earlier... We'll get back to that. Girl and this doctor. Aya, answer me. See, you remember earlier when, in the first session, Daniel had asked Aya about the date, being like, why the opera, right? Is that the in thing right now? And she said it kind of stood out to her. So what Eve is basically trying to imply here is that that wasn't of Aya's doing. In fact, this is actually a plot point in the book in and of itself. Part of the reason in the book why the scientists work so hard to study mitochondria, and part of the reason why his wife, who is the inciting incident of that book, is that she gets in a car accident and veers off road. She has dreams about it, and then it actually happens. This is all manipulation through her, or through the mitochondria. That, oh hey, no problem whatsoever that you're late. It's fine. No issue at all. We're just we just did the Eve boss fight and the Worms boss fight in this area. This area is a pain to navigate. I completely forgot about that, but it's fine. That's why we have the strategy guide. But one of the reasons why she has, one of the things that she's alluding to is being is manipulating people through their mitochondria to kind of get them to do certain things. So the implication here is that she's manipulated Aya through, like, oh hey, we should go to the opera, specifically because she was taking over Melissa. Screen zoomed in. Yeah, let me fix that. I noticed that too on my end. I didn't even know about that. I was messing around with some stuff yesterday, some stream stuff, so it might be because of that. Here. Hopefully that's a little bit better. Yeah, Neil. I thought that was just the aesthetic. No, honestly, I didn't know, but that's a problem. That's fine. I'll adjust that later on. But no, I definitely do think that is a really cool part of the story, the idea of manipulation, or not only just mitochondria having these abilities through science, but also manipulation. Blame me later for not telling. Oh, I will. Don't worry. Be like, how could you? But that's why I read all dialogue for cases like this. Hey, it's Ben. He's alright. More than I can say for us. Ben, weren't you going to the concert? I came here with Mom, but she was all weird. What do you mean, Ben? I came with Mom so the three of us could be together. So that's why you came to get me. Mom went to the stage, but she freaked out. What do you mean Mom freaked out? I got near the stage and she started to feel sick. I wanted to go home. Mom wasn't feeling herself, Dad. She left and everyone else went too. Yeah, his mom's like super dead. They all turned into fucking goop. So that's rough. Really, really got to see how he handles that. I don't think it's gonna turn out too well. Lorraine. And Daniel doesn't know because he's been here the entire time. Casualties were much worse this time. Yeah, no shit. We cannot put the lives of citizens in jeopardy any longer. We have orders to evacuate all citizens out of Manhattan. Fortunately, most people are out of the city for Christmas. What do we do, sir? We will stay and assist in neutralizing Eve. Shouldn't we leave it to the army? Where are the ones that are supposed to be protecting the city? Any word from Aya? Nothing. Damn it. Where could she be? Daniel, I need you to help evacuate the citizens. She's our only hope against this thing now. I'm going to look for her. Should we stop him, sir? He's lost Lorraine. He'll find Aya. You two help with the evacuation. Yeah, R.I.P. Lorraine. Ben, I'm sorry. I have to go find Aya. Where'd she go? I don't know, but she's the only one that can help fight the thing that hurt your mom. I had Daniel just ignores Baker. Yeah, he's really standing up for himself. It's like you see that over the course of this game too, where it's like, it's the job and yada 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 and everything else like that. But fighting a threat like this and having your partner be pretty much the only one that can actually fight this thing, while also being motivated by your ex-wife, who it's like, yeah, they were talking shit about. He was talking shit about earlier, but they've really kind of come into their own. I mean, it's different now that she's gone. It's like, it does something to you. Kath, look after the kid, will you? I will, don't worry. Of course, that is kind of the downside to it, isn't it? It's like you caught a whole bunch of shit earlier in the story in the first part because of the fact that he was kind of leaving his son behind for detective work, only to then now have to leave his son again behind for detective work. However, this reason is a little bit more personal now. Come on, sport. You like dogs? I'll introduce you to the best police dog in town. That's awful. Can I show this boy the dog? Sure, let me open the fence. Hey, you got a visitor. This is Shiva. Hey, I think she likes you. It's cute. Good God. Mm. Cop A. How many times do let's try it again so I don't trip on my words. How many times do I gotta tell you? We've blocked this off. You won't even find a cat on this street. I told you I've already contacted the police about this matter. What? Not getting anywhere with my English. So yeah, this is the guy from earlier, where he heard about this incident, flew over here immediately, and is now trying to get through. By the way, I've got to use the bathroom really quick. I'll be right back. But take this opportunity, once again, water, food if you have any, or just to stretch, and we'll be back in about a couple minutes.
Cellular DNA. Aliens within ourselves. Waiting to strike. Parasite.
The worst foe lies within. Parasite Eve.
Save us! God save us! God save us! Lord, why? Tell me why!
Awake
Humanity is over! Humanity!
そして DNA が繰り出す I am Eve
God save us! God
The Cinematic RPG Parasite Eve
コンビニでデジキューブ Hello
New York New York そして何かが目を覚ます I am Eve The Cinematic RPG Parasite Eve
Millions of years ago, the mitochondria began to live silently within our bodies. It seems that the parasites have only to live among us. Or do they?
Alright, we're back. Also, did homie in this promo just say mitochondria? Does he? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. This was the era where, like, voiceover artists, especially for games, I mean, it's like, yeah, if you were doing it for movies, you probably got paid a good amount. But most, like, voiceover guys, you were given like $20 in a handshake. So I wouldn't be surprised. Most of that was based off of just voice alone, in terms of what you got. Where it's like, they sound good, but then you pronounce it right. It's like, Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and check that, or maybe you can clip it, if possible. If you can clip it, then I'll go back and try to see if I can listen to it. Another thing I really like that this game does, and I always liked it, was its ability to turn just everyday locations into dungeons. That's kind of a thing that is crucial, or I think really important to point out. Because for an RPG, right, your location in the world that you set everything in is very, very important. And, most fantasy locations, it's pretty easy to have it be like, okay, yeah, a dungeon is like an abandoned fortress. It's a cave. It's some random sewer, shit like that. But for this game, it's like, it's set in New York City, right? And so it's like, you have different areas where it's just like, okay, well, how do we set up enemies? How do we do this and X, Y, and Z? And it's hard to turn a place like, I don't know, Central Park or Carnegie Hall or some random, literally who gives a shit like building into a dungeon area. But it really does show that they did their homework and they were creative in their locations to actually turn a lot of these places into actually fun dungeons to go through. Because that's the other problem too. It's not just difficult in terms of finding locations, it's also hard to make those locations feel grand and feel like actual dangerous places to explore. Case in point, Final Fantasy VIII does dungeons, or it does sewers. Yeah, props to the iconography of NYC. Yeah, absolutely. Like there's sewer dungeons in FF8, but they're not great or really like that dangerous. One, because the game in and of itself isn't that hard, but mostly because in FF8, the dungeons are kind of cheeks. A lot of them. You end up wandering through them, and a lot of them are really, really copy paste. They're not too broken up screen to screen. And what you end up having is a situation where you get more annoyed more than anything else like that, because trying to find your way out is such a pain. Whereas here, like, a lot of the backdrops are done in a way where it's just like, oh yeah, they're distinguishable enough from each other. Finding your way in and out of locations isn't necessarily hard. There's just so many like entrances and exits that they end up looping back around each other that are the problem. And I mentioned earlier with Takashi Tokida's game design, it's like, yeah, you don't have random encounters to worry about, but you do have the feeling of, okay, I'm going back through this area. I know that there's going to be a random encounter here, and there's no way to exit the battle, so you have to kind of fight your way through. So if anything, it just kills time. It's probably easier to find a likable sewer stage. Yeah, it's tough. But I give them props because I think they did a phenomenal job designing this place. I know games like RE kind of did the same thing, but in RE I feel like it's a little bit easier because most of the game kind of takes place in that area, in like the police station. And going through the streets, you don't really have as many locales to necessarily worry about, whereas with an RPG like this, there are a lot more locales kind of pushed in. So making sure that they're all of quality, or at the very least like distinguishable enough from each other, and even within areas within the same zone like Central Park is I think a huge showcase of creativity. Deus Ex also does a kind of similar thing like that too, because that game also takes place in New York. But in 3D game, first person shooter, it's a little bit easier. Anyway. Hey, you wow, 98, huh? Yeah. No, I'm Japanese. Nanda Nihonjin desu ka? Oh, this guy speaks Japanese. I forgot about that. Oh, yes, can you speak Japanese? ちょっとだけね。誰ですか? Kunihiko Maeda, Japanese. It's been a minute since I've wow. Okay, I wasn't expecting that either. Hey, if you can't speak the language, go back to your country. And then he laughs. New York's finest. And even he's cringing about it. Seeing this as an adult hits different. Yeah, no. Times have definitely changed. I'd say that much. Well, especially in, current climate, but that's a whole nother conversation. Calm down, take it easy, man. It's bad for your heart. Uh-oh. I guess it's now or never. You ever just be completely You ever just see someone be, like, completely racist up front and then just set on fire? Immediately bursts into flames? Spontaneous human combustion. I believe that's correct. Yeah, insane. You know what? You should just go back to your country and then just light on fire. Instant karma. Anyway. Where? Hospital? Mm. Oh, you're finally awake. Who are you? I'm Kunihiko Maeda. I'm a scientist from Japan. We found you. Daniel. IS2 calm in the scene, waking up to some rando. I mean, yes. On one hand, absolutely. On the other hand, considering the events of Central Park and what she was witness to, in terms of an entire crowd turning into what seems to be just regular goop, not to mention Eve setting an entire horse on fire and riding through and fighting her, and the giant worms, this has got to be like the least weird out of all this. No one out there but cops. It's a ghost town. I've never seen anything like it. Pretty creepy if you ask me. Where's Eve? What happened to the people in Central Park? Well, we don't know where Eve is. As far as the people in Central Park, it's best not to talk about that. Ben was okay, but the rest of the audience, well, they just disappeared. This is how we're going with. Disappeared? You mean they weren't ignited? No. They all melted into slime and became one big mass. That's something new. Nothing like that happened in Japan. I made the Ava joke earlier about LCL. I just realized I'm pretty sure End of Ava came out in 98. That's a lie, man. Yeah, absolutely. Granted, people set on fire in the original book and in the movie. They didn't turn into slime. Eve, from what I remember, was the only one that turned into slime from the little I've seen of both. But she could just do that on a whim. Yeah, I made the joke earlier, but I just realized Ava was only out, I think, about 2-3 years around this time. It was one of the hottest animes. Yeah, Eve did for sure, so he's still wrong. Yeah. Japan? A similar incident happened several years ago in Japan, although it wasn't as grandiose in scale as this one. Sure wasn't. It was just like a hospital and some weird incidences here and there. Hey, give us the details. It all started when a scientist's wife was involved in a car accident. Scientists tried to culture her liver cells in order to keep her alive. Scientists named those cells Eve. Eve? The liver cells multiplied and her mitochondria eventually took over her physical body. After acquiring the scientist's sperm, Eve tried giving birth to an ultimate being. Ultimate being? What kind of being? She, the being who mutated from the liver cells, couldn't maintain her body for long. By the way, before the car accident occurred, the wife had registered to have her organs donated. So after the incident, her kidneys were transplanted into a young girl, and Eve implanted a fertilized egg in the young girl who gave birth to an ultimate being. I was extremely interested in this and went to his lab so that I could continue research. After hearing about this incident, I had to fly over here. What the hell is going on here? Yeah, this is a lot to dump on everyone all at once, but no, this actually did happen. This is the book. I wish I could explain more. Aya, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. I thought that monster had gotten a hold of you. I thought it was too late. When I felt Eve, something inside of me felt like it was being... You felt you were about to be ignited, correct? I assume since you've seen the movie, you know Eve melts indigo. Here's the thing, I've only seen clips of the movie. I do know that she, like, melts indigo. I also know that there's a scene where, like, she floats into goo and forms into her, like, human, quote-unquote, form in front of the scientist who takes on the appearance of, like, his wife that died. Like, I know that for a fact. It's funny because it's, like, that's one of the best visual effects in the movie. But, and I know that she melts at the end. Like everyone else, it's like it's the fire aspect of it, where like she goes around like lighting people on fire in the hospital. I wish I could stream the movie, but I know that I'd get like heavy DMCA'd for it. I was thinking about actually doing a stream where we read the book, but the problem is like the book's translation is not that great from the little I've seen. Like I said, the author Hiaki Sene, he's very very dry in terms of his and the book is very technical into it, so I don't know how interesting it would be to read it, but I think it'd be fun. The entire book's free online anyway. No, she's the only one that isn't affected. What? Gotcha, it's worth one watch for the lore. Yeah, absolutely. I don't understand. I think I may be a monster, like her. What are you saying, Aya? I don't know. What if I end up killing you? Ah, shut up. You know that's not. Please, Daniel. I don't know. I just don't know anymore. Please go away. Just stay away from me. Aya. Please. Yes. I understand your point. Hey, where do you think you're going? There he goes. Even if I am a monster, I don't ever want to kill you, Daniel. Please. I could never forgive myself if I killed you. Aya, you're no monster. You're my best partner, Aya Brea. I'll be by your side. Always, Aya. I mean, it's a lot to consider, man. Like, keep in mind, 2 days ago, she was just some, like, rookie cop going on a date at the opera in the middle of New York on Christmas Eve. Now you find out 2 days later after the fact, you've been having, yeah, she's just a rookie. Yeah, you've been having, like, you've been having these visions. You have these powers come up. You find out that all this insane shit's going on around town, but you're the only one that's able to actually handle it because somehow you're immune to all these crazy powers. Slap dig in. My best partner must have had some shitty partners. Well, those partners couldn't heal themselves with just their raw body energy or sustain like 3rd-degree burns on a whim. I don't know, if I had a partner that was able to have like half the abilities that she has, as well as just wielding like assault rifles and grenade launchers, I'd consider her one of the best partners I ever had. Be like, shit. When I touched Eve, that feeling, was it Maya? But Maya died in the car crash with Mom. This is where we get some of her backstory. No, it just couldn't be. Day 3 selection. I will save my progress. Nope. Dot dot. We've gotten quite a lot too. Let's sort some of this actually. Got a lot of junk that we need to turn into. Not Torres, Wayne. Still got those 2 revives, which is nice. We didn't actually end up using any of them, which is really, really good. Good amount of inventory space. Oh, you're actually collecting junk? Yeah, because I remember the part where if you actually collect junk, and I think this is the best day to grind it, if I'm not mistaken. If you turn in, you have to remember, you have to correct me if it's like 200, 300, I think you actually get a free weapon from Wayne. Because I could also just be talking out of my ass. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. Hold on. Yeah, I think it's 300. Yeah, yeah. Never did because I ain't got patience. I mean, I respect that. Like, the fact that you have to do that with limited item, or limited inventory as it is already kind of like a pain in the ass as, like, in and of itself. That was a long night. Sleep well? No. You were here all night? I told you to go away. You could have died, you know? Yeah, exactly. Scientists can't believe anything without proof. It's just one of those things. And besides, what? Oh, nothing. Daniel? No traffic. This is the way it ought to be around here. Daniel. What are we sitting around for? We've got work to do. Daniel, thanks. Alright, we're gonna need some bigger weapons. There's a gun shop over there. Let's stock up. I believe there's a pharmacy over there. I don't think there were any hidden items over here, but let me double check. I don't think so anyway. Just the smell of this place gives me the creeps. So many types of medication. They all seem strong too. Thank God, because we need medicine. We were chewing through. The door's broken. There's a phone save point. Alright, let me think. Let's see if I remember correctly. Some stuff up here. Right medicine. I think there's also a space around here where it's a really weird glitch, so I might be thinking of the wrong place. I think if you keep hitting X, you can get an item just over and over again ad nauseum. What's this? That's not a hospital? Yeah. I forgot what the item is, but it... Yes. I wish I could take these all back to Japan. Your inventory is full. Alright, so here's the thing. Also, let me know if I need to hold off on any of the vaccine. No, man. Excuse me, I had to sneeze, sorry. No, by all means, like, if there's anything that I miss or anything like that, like, let me know. That's why we have this thing up. And again, it's been a minute since I've played this. I don't mind backseeing at all. It's just cool to have people that like actually know about this game and old school RPGs in general. So by all means, I welcome it. I do, and I have it up on the side just to kind of take a peek at it every now and then. I might have to move some of this junk, actually. Just because we really need to stock up on medicine. That's more important right now. I guess I could take a look later on to see, like, what junk we can actually turn in. The Zuki is not helping shit either. We need to unload that. I have to take a look to see, like, later on what we actually get from... Oh, there's some stuff up here. What we actually get from Wayne in terms of like what we can actually get when we turn in the junk. And see if the weapons are worth it. But if we can actually... If it's worth it, then I'll hold on to some of it. If not, then I guess I'll just skip junk right now. We can grind that at another point. Might make a separate save for it. Matter of fact, now that I say that. Let's save up top. We'll keep that as our go-to in case it's just like, maybe I shouldn't have gotten rid of the junk. We'll save up for this one. something else around here too, I want to say. Yeah. Like I said, you gotta love old school design where it's like you would never know that any of this is here, but that's what the strategy guides were for. Hey. What's this? Evade. And another tool. Anything around here? No. They really don't make them like they used to. The good old days of strategy, guys. My first one and only one I had was for FF10. Yeah, I brought this up earlier. Like I went on like a long spiel about this, but the old days. If you go back and look up FF10, what is it, like FF10 Square Millennium event, you'll find like the video of when they first revealed that game where like Tidus has black hair and everything else like that. One of the nightmare scenarios that luckily they scrapped halfway through development was having the guide be completely online. So you would get to points in game where you would connect to play online and find in-game information about like weapons, maps, things like that. The reason why I say that would have been a nightmare, number one, play online was notoriously slow back in the day because it was 2001. Dial-up was not exactly ideal for everyone that used AOL. But what's even worse is like I have flashbacks to the FF9 strategy guide where it's like, yeah, we print out a main guide, but like most of the actual information is going to be online on on like Square's little online portal. And I can't imagine buying like a $20-25 book that's supposed to tell you about like everything that game has to offer, only to then go, yeah, nah, you can just go online to look it up, and also not having access to internet. What's up with him? All of a sudden he's a happy camper. He's in his element. I will never understand those sciences types. Alright, now that we got most of that, let's head to the weapon shop. I'm also going to hold on to most of this upgrades because I feel like at the weapon shop we're going to find our go-tos for this next day. Which we'll check all of this out, actually. Hold on, let's sort this again. Actually, you know what? Better idea. We'll go ahead and drop those chunks. It's fine. According to the guide, this is a trading card, which I believe we also need to trade into Wayne. And I forgot what he actually gives us for this. Yep. They weren't kidding when they said they sell guns here in America, were they? Sure weren't. This is it. We'll help ourselves to some ammo. Out of the way, Aya. Daniel, no. Sorry, but it's the only way. Jesus. Are you really a cop? We think so, but we don't have scientific proof if that's what you're asking. Alright, let's see what we got around here. First off, let's talk to Daniel. me to skip that? Go ahead and pick out your favorite accessories, ladies. Made, what do you got to say? This is just too much. Bro is invested. Okay, the CR vest. I think that's gonna be our vest. Our vest. Yes, our vest best. Our best vests for today. On day 3, unless there's a better one I'm thinking that I'm misremembering, but even if not, like, I'm pretty sure we can actually upgrade it. The G19, that's gonna get really good stats on that up front. Another dose of ammo, club, which means we can drop the old one. Yes, I will actually. And speaking of, hold on, where is it? Get the shit out of here. Range +1. You think? Yeah, unless I'm crazy, I think it is the CM Vest one. Yeah, let's take a look around a little bit more. Hold on, before we do that, let me take a look at this. Honestly, we could put away the vest. This vest is completely, like, lost all of its usefulness to us right now. The KV. I mean, it does have the extra slot for inventory space, but I can easily use the tool to get rid of that. In fact, I might do that now. Instead of switching it out. I've also got to use the restroom again, so I'll be right back.
Cellular DNA. Aliens within ourselves, waiting to strike. Parasite.
The worst foe lies within. Parasite Eve.
Save us! God save us! God save us! Lord, why? Tell me why!
Awake
Humanity is over! Humanity!
そして DNA が繰り出す I am Eve The cinematic RPG Parasite Eve
コンビニでデジキューブ Hello
メイヤーメイヤーそして何かが目を覚ます I am Eve The cinematic RPG Parasite Eve
Millions of years ago, the mitochondria began to live silently within our bodies. It seems that the parasites have only to live among us. do they?
Alright, we're back. Let's see. Okay, yeah, so we're taking this thing off. Yeah, we're taking it off the KV vest. Or does the KV vest not have that? You know, maybe I'm bugging. Maybe we already have the actual. Or is it on the SB vest? It is on the SB vest, so yeah, I had to destroy that one. I can move the parameters over from this vest, though. Now, remind me, if I move these over, like any of the bonuses that we put, does that, it gets applied to the plus of that, or does it scale? I can't remember. Should never learn how to upgrade weapons. It's perfectly fine. You know what? No time like the present. Let's go ahead and... Okay, it does. It does. Cool. So yeah, I'm like, fuck it. We can try it. If it doesn't work out, then we'll just roll with it. Okay, cool. Then, in that case, let's go ahead and change our armor out to this vest. This vest is just inherently better than the SB. I might also destroy the SB vest, I'll be honest, because I don't see us ever using this. Again, it's just inherently better. Our critical rate jumps up dramatically. Our energy and our defense. I got you, Laura. I got you on Lauren characters, but weapons, nah, that's no problem. I did also discover this too, which are bonus points. Yeah, we're gonna want to pump those into weapons and not active time capacity because these actually reset. I thought it was just active time the last time for Chrysler building, but no, it's item capacity too because it has its own unique system. But all these stay around, so we're gonna want to upgrade weapons and armor pretty heavily. Yeah, let's go ahead and destroy this. We got another tool, it's fine. Yeah. There we go, so we still keep the inventory benefit. We just lose that on the vest, but that's perfectly fine. Also go ahead and apply it to these. Now that we know that we can actually apply all of the bonuses to new weapons and armor, that will also help us out too, because it's not like these things break. The only problem is that we're going to run out of tools, but you do get an infinite toolbox later on. I just forgot how. Can you imagine if weapons and armor had durability sets? I know. Well, if this game had a remake, I could see that being a case. Because it could incentivize you actually keeping around multiple weapon types. I'm pretty sure RE does that at a certain point. I know RE4 remake does that, where, you know, obviously the knife has durability, but that's because of the parry mechanic that it has attached to it. I know they 1000% add durability to the weapon system if they could. I cannot. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of it, but for a survival horror game, I guess it does make sense. I'm just not. I'm big on it. Now, what they would end up doing is they would add attachments and bonuses to it to actually like decrease like the durability change, so it'd make weapons a lot more resilient. And then eventually you'd unlock something towards it's like, oh yeah, durability will never go down or something like that, which I think could be nice. Like I said, I love the weapon upgrade system or customization system in Parasite Eve. I think it's really, really cool, and I think it's really, really smart. And it makes me even more frustrated that we don't have a remake of this game. That would be worth 300 junk? Absolutely. Okay, that increases bullet capacity. And then I think one last thing that we missed around here somewhere. Yeah, the M11, which is the machine gun. It's on sort. Take a look at these. So let's see. M11 machine gun. What are the bonuses for that? Rate of fire is 5. Random rate of fire of 1.5. I don't know what that actually does. Has increased amount of bullets to it. Its range is a lot weaker, but that's to be expected, and it does a little bit less damage. But then again, we have been upgrading the shit out of the M16. The handgun has a pretty good range on it altogether, but it is a little bit weaker, which is also to be expected. But a rate of fire of 3. The grenade launcher has the fire or the incendiary bullets, and the club is really nice. What is the club's main ability? Let's see. Steal items, but has attack power. Ew. I guess if we're running low on items, that would be useful. I don't really know if I'm going to end up using it, though, just because we have so much available to us. Yeah, anytime I see half attack power, I'm like, that ability's got to be real good for me to just willingly give that up. I'm really not big on this grenade launcher either, but it is what it is. Only problem I run into with incendiary, you see, here's the problem. Anytime that it's like, oh yeah, you can increase elemental damage on an enemy, I'm like, oh, that's great. Problem is that unless you're more than familiar with the game, which I'm only like half familiar with this because, like I said, it has been a while, I'm kind of debating about whether or not I even want to add this to a weapon. Mostly because I think other abilities are even better, but the last thing you want to run into is a situation where it's like, yeah, you get increased fire ability, but you're running into enemies that are resistant to fire anyway. So you're just inherently gimping yourself and doing less damage. Now, I could add that onto a weapon like the handgun to where it's just like, yeah, if I wanted to maybe save any of these weapons or not use them in the moment, it would be better off for it, but I don't know. The smart thing to do would be to kind of just save it for right now, and then if we run into a situation where we kind of need it, then smoke it if you got it, but we'll kind of keep that as is for right now. So the M16 will probably be our go-to. Hang on tight 1 second. Yeah, I'm a hoarder when it comes to those types of things, saving it for later, but then never using it. Yeah, exactly. And like I said, our upgrades carry over too, so like I don't even know if it's even worth maybe using it right at the moment, but because the Chrysler building is notoriously tough. Another tool. I guess we're pretty good on that. Alright, I think we've gotten pretty much everything in this zone. Let's go ahead and head out. Now the only other thing for us to do is I want to say we're heading for... Is it the museum or the station? Something. We're stopped. Come on, get in the car. Alright. Alright, my bad. I guess I can't go around the front. Or I guess I can't go around the back. Road rules don't apply here anymore. You take the shortest route through Manhattan. Might stop at the station to drop stuff off, maybe. Yeah, probably a good call. I was forgot about this little cutscene that you get if you hit select. I think this takes you to your next destination. Or no, it doesn't. You just get the little cutscene. Okay. Yeah, let's head to the station. There we go. On Christmas of all times. What's the matter with this town? Man, I gotta get out of here. Set up a ranch in the quiet countryside. Same. Sit downstairs. Turn that thing into Wayne. Sure, bring in a lot of neat stuff. If you ever want to see gun trading cards, or if you ever see gun trading cards around here, bring them here. I'm really into those. Trading cards? Fitting for a simpleton like you. What's your fucking beef, Torres? Freaking geezer. Come on now, enough chatting. Back to work. Aren't you in the middle of a case? Now go on, out of here, and catch the idiots. Hopefully without using your gun. You want to leave something here? Yeah. Key up here. I might also use this mod to permit too, just to see what we get. Alright, we got the CM vest, but not the CR. Man, I really don't want to. Alright, here's the thing. Against better wishes, I'll go ahead and move grenade launcher. If we really need to later on, I can fuck around with it if we actually need it, but I just don't want it clogging up the inventory. and nothing of medicine for our trouble, and we'll drop off the mod permit. Where are you? There you are. Yeah, go ahead and modify this just so we can make sure to unload storage guns so you get the bullets. Oh yeah, good call. But just remember, cops own guns for protection. Don't let the guns own you. The question is, how do I unload them? I think reload set to 0. Oh, right. Yeah, if I put them in the ammo crate, maybe. Yeah. There we go. Thank you. Can I not move that back? I guess I can't. So if I take them out, put them in, reload, and move them over here, got it. Yeah, thank you for that. I completely missed out on that. Speaking of. Okay, cool. Hmm. All right, here's the deal. If this fucks me over, then I'll just hold that. But I think we're gonna apply a little bit of fire damage to this pistol. And then in the meantime, I'll also do enough close-up damage with this, that'll be fine. I'll add the range to this. I'll increase bullet capacity. I'll increase it with the. Let me see. I'll add to our rifle. I don't have enough bonus points for that. Yeah. Let me see. I think we're heading for the museum next. So, where to? Is there any place with a research facility? Research facility. I'd like to conduct an experiment and test something. It might be relevant. How about the facility in the museum where Clamp is at? They had really extensive equipment there. No way, man. Anywhere but there. He should have been evacuated by now. It should be okay. Yeah, that sounds good. Daniel, is that okay? I'm expecting a big tip for this. Realistically, they could have went anywhere else, but you know, plot armor, yeah. This is the American Museum of Natural History. It's just as I imagined. I can find a research facility in this building. Yeah, hopefully we won't run into the jerk who owns it or runs it. Since he's been evacuated, it should be empty. For a lab and a museum, it does have fairly extensive equipment. So what do you want to test? Yes, of course. Let me see. Was able to extract a gel-like substance from Aya's clothing. Gel? Is it from Eve? Yes, it appears to be a remnant of Eve's cells. At the cellular level, her power cannot be as strong as Aya said previously. Ow! Hey, what are you doing? I want to conduct this experiment to see whether or not Yes. Yes, this is exactly as It's just as I thought. Go ahead and take a look. What is it? I was gonna say, this is a strong ass microscope. Holy shit. In 1998, yeah, exactly. Like this is the world's smallest electron microscope. Your cells are completely surrounded by them. As you can see, the mitochondria, or Eve, has taken over the nucleus. In a similar manner, the beast that attacked you probably experienced the same thing. Does the mitochondria really have the power to control the nucleus? No, not the normal mitochondria. Oh, no, the normal mitochondria never has such power, excuse me. Should probably be wearing my glasses while I'm playing this game, but we're just gonna rock with it for right now. Mostly because I have no idea where they are. I think they're over on my bed. But Eve's mitochondria has gone through tremendous evolutionary changes. This is what I think happened to Eve's mitochondria. Normally, mitochondria require oxygen when they generate energy called ATP. So at this time, the mitochondria request oxygen from the nucleus. Without the energy supply from the mitochondria, the nucleus cannot function. So in essence, the two organelles constantly rely on each other. In this case, it seems that Eve developed the power to reverse the symbiotic relationship. Evolution, or even mutation, seems likely in this case. Reverse the cycle? Look at this. Even with a limited number of cells, her cells have this much power. Can you imagine how much power Eve has within her whole body? Maeda. Yes? Could you test my cells? Yes, of course, but I want to know why I had the power to fight her. I want to know where I stand with her. Maya, please, Maeda, I need to know why. Yes, of course. Thanks, Maeda. Could you step over here, please? I'll need your arm. Like this? Here. Yes, yes. Ow. Let me just set this up here. I think you'd better see for yourself. What is it? Is something wrong? Hmm. Like, come on, man. Those are atoms. Bullshit, you can see those with that microscope. Yeah, I feel like atoms would be much smaller than cells in mitochondria. Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't know. I'm not a scientist, so maybe I don't get it. Maybe they were just. But then again, it's just, I don't know. Maybe it's just a cool visual for the effect. Do you realize what's happening? Your mitochondria are supplying more energy to the nuclei of your cells. It's almost as if they are protecting the nuclei from Eve's mitochondria. What does Aya's mitochondria have? Why does my Aya's mitochondria have this kind of power? I don't know. I just... Are you familiar with the Richard Dawkins theory of the selfish gene? AKA the book that inspired Kojima when he was writing Metal Gear Solid 1. In simple terms, it states that genes act in a manner to preserve and ensure survival of the species. Hey man, I don't read those scientific journals. What are you trying to say? Depending on how you look at it, you could say that Eve is trying to destroy all mitochondria except her own. In response to that, Aya's mitochondria has developed the power to rebel. Why only Aya's? Should it be the same for us as well? We should also have that power based on... That seems to follow the natural order of things, but I'm sorry, I don't know why. Oh. Professor? What are you doing in my lab? This is breaking and entering. Why haven't you evacuated the city yet? I'm asking why you people are in my lab. We received orders to evacuate the city. Professor, you really should. I tell you, cops are the ones corrupting this fine city. True. I'm sorry, it was my fault, you see. I asked them to bring me here. Who the hell are you? Oh, I'm Kunihiko Maeda, and I'm a scientist from Japan. You were using my electronic microscope. He really didn't need to say anything. Also, yeah, electronic microscope for that small. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm wrong. I swear these things were a lot bigger than than they're just portraying now. Especially at this point. What is this? Where did you get this specimen? You. Where did you get these cells? Those are... Shut up, Maeda. I don't know. Do you take me for a fool? Yeah. With cells like these, they must affect the body's natural state. Oh, shut up. I'll ask. Officer Brea, your cells contain a tremendous amount of energy. Do you feel any bodily changes? Excuse me? You should feel somewhat hot, no? Speak up, officer. I can't hear you. As you know to ask her. Good question. Very good question. Have you lost consciousness anytime recently? Hey. Hey, what the hell is this? Why is my boy's name here? Roro. Lorraine. Lorraine here too? Lorraine's on here too? Clamp? You tell me. You tell me, what the hell is this list for? Tell me you here. Let go of me. I don't have to tell you anything. I don't know, man. If I found out that you, for whatever reason, you just had a list of people that I knew, including their DNA, on your PC, just ready to view, I'd have some questions too. Daniel, calm down. Daniel. Damn. Get out of here. Sorry to disturb you. Sorry? Bro, whatever. But we do have to officially warn you of the evacuation. Please remember that. Officer Brea, do you enjoy having that barbarian for a partner? Feels motivated. Also, what do you mean barbarian? Bro, you had his family on... Whatever. Oh, no. Thank you. Bye. Love Maeda. It's too late now. It's too late to do anything now. Instead of recap, by the way, for that scientist. So not only does Aya feel like he knows, or she knows him because of, you know, previous flashbacks that she's had to, yeah, the villain. We also get the sense of, for whatever reason, him having data on everybody, it seems, related to this incident, including Lorraine, who just died like a day ago at Central Park from going to the concert. Ben, who luckily got away, but for some reason his data's on there. And him knowing to ask Aya specifically, like, hey, you feel weird at all? Like, any strange happenings? Anything you feel that might cause you to be a little bit, you know, different? Yeah, very. Damn him. One of these days. What was that list? It was an HLA type listing. It's a list to see whether organs will be rejected when transplanted. Why the hell are Ben and Lorraine on the list? It was a list of people with matching HLA types, so... Damn. I'm gonna get him. I'm going back to the station, getting the... Getting the what? What the hell happened here? A good question. Place got ransacked. Eve. She's here? I'll go look around. You two stay safe. You two stay here. Hell no. I'm not gonna sit around and wait for this thing to kill my family. Daniel. There he goes. Wait, Aya. Here, take this. Oh? What's this? It's a good luck charm from Japan. It's the best I can do. He's so fucking precious. As many times as I've seen this story, still don't understand the HLA thing other than it's sus. Yeah, it is kind of weird. Because that, as far as we know it, right, it's weird just because of the the locale. If this was at the hospital, completely different situation. Yeah, you'd have like an organ donor list, right, and a list of that sort of information. Some guy at the Natural History Museum of all cases, like having that on his PC, where apparently all he does is study like gene therapy and shit like that. That's a little suspicious, or more than a little suspicious. It's like really creepy. It'd be like having like your entire family history doc at like a lawyer's office. You know what I mean? It's like, why do you have this specifically? Maya. Thank you. I'll take it. It's more than a little creepy. Mm-mm. All right. I was really hoping that would pay off. This should kill them both, though. Incredible we still got hit by that. Oh. Warner. Man, Eve really caught us off guard. Most of our men were out. I'm getting help. Hang on. No worries. I'll be alright. You go after Ben. One small detail I do appreciate is that you can see the rats evolve over time. Yeah, most of the enemies in this game too, actually. I think it's actually just cool that you get to see the way that this game handles a lot of its smaller details. Like, they really wanted to put some work into this. Alright. I think for right now, though, this is where I'm going to stop right here because I do want to get something to eat and rest up for now. But I do want to continue this week, so I want to say maybe Wednesday or Thursday I'll probably stream again. Thanks for the stream. No problem, man. Thanks for joining. Thanks for everyone that tuned in and anyone that's watching this VOD after I upload it here in a bit. But no, thanks for the stream. Really enjoying this so far. Having a lot of fun kind of gushing and discussing old Square games. It's your next one, but I'll catch the VOD. Absolutely. This is also a reminder too that on YouTube, which I believe the link is for, I'll be uploading all of my VODs and any shorts that we make of this. So if for whatever reason Twitch ends up eating the VODs, then you know where to find them. But for right now, I want to appreciate and thank you all for coming out, and I will catch you all next time.